In some churches, and so I've been around a while, you know, in some churches, unless you connect with the senior pastor by spending lots and lots of time with him and his missus and kids, or he spending lots of time with you in your house, you in his house, then you don't connect. That's a common deal. Well, I just got to tell you that it's not going to happen here. If that's what you wanted, you came to the right place, and I'm sad for you. I hope we make the case. I want to connect with all of you. But see, there are lots of you. See, I actually have a directory, and I went through it on Thursday, and I crossed out a lot of people that stopped coming, probably about 50. So I brought the number down to 307. But I said to Amanda, have you got some other, she said, yeah, I've got some other data, people's names and stuff not in there yet. Probably about another 50, so it's probably 357 that's in the directory. So if you work that out, and I got to your place one day in a year, I might get through it all in a year if I was doing nothing else. So guess what? I'm not coming. And you're not coming to my place either. So here's what I say. Look, I'd love to come to your place every day. It's just not going to happen. You do the math. It's just not going to work, is it? So I can try and connect with you all here, catch up with you here. I'm in a Connect group. Some of you are in my Connect group. My Connect group really grew this year. We think we started 8 or 9 at the beginning of the year, and now it's 19. So we just multiplied. And now I've got another leg talk on a 2IC at the beginning of the term, and on Wednesday we're celebrating that we've morphed into 2 groups. Right. And today we've got a big picnic in the park. We're going to play bocce, boules, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be out there doing this thing because, you see, we're trying to connect on that level. But watch this. Moses was the senior pastor of what I would call the Hebrew church on the move. He was bringing up this group of people from Egypt to the Promised Land, going north. And he began to counsel them, as you do. And I do counselling. I'm just a GP. If you come to me once, I'll send you off somewhere else that specialises in whatever your glitch is, and they'll straighten you out and you'll pay the day for it. And when you pay, you're actually going to do something about it, so that's how that works. So Moses did all this counselling. He hadn't worked this out yet. He did, and I learned from this. And he said he was counselling from daylight till dark and beyond. He just doing all this counselling. And there was a lot of people. Exodus 12:37 says there were about 600,000 men on foot. And if all of these men had one wife and 2 kids, what you got is 2.4 million people on the move. Now, it would seem from everything I've read about this, and I've really schooled myself up on this, that actually it was not 600,000 men on foot at all. Another linguistic explanation, is just one letter changes in the Hebrew word, informs us that there were 600 men. 600, not 600,000. Stay with me. Which, if all were married and had 2 kids, would still amount to 2,400 people in the Hebrew church on the move. And that's a fairly big... So whether it's 2.4 million or 2,400 people, I have to tell you that's a lot of people for any senior pastor to look after, whether he's Senior Pastor Moses or Senior Pastor Gordon. That's a lot of people. And in our church directory, which is updated every week in our office, I can't keep up with the 300 plus, let alone 2,400 or 2.4 million. I just can't do that. So we try every way we can. I do a minute with the pastor, an email I send out. It's posted on our website. I do Facebook all over the place, wherever I can. I'll text you. I got a text message just before the service started to tell me that well, it didn't come to me, it came to one of our people who's been planted here in the church, out of the church. She said to me, did you know that Paul's in hospital? Right just before the service. I said, no, I didn't. And I said, I'm going to text Leonie and find out what's going on. So I texted just before the service started. Leonie, I just heard Paul's in hospital. Got some heart condition. I'm going to pray. I'm going to let the church know. She said, oh, it's good, it's good. She texted me immediately back. See, my phone's on silent. When I see my jacket there where it's in, it vibrates. Leonie sent another message to, and I'll keep you up to speed on that. Hey, I wouldn't have known. With just 300 plus people. But together we can know. Are you with me? You're following this? Together we can know. Anyway, Moses doing all this stuff, because he hadn't worked this out yet. He didn't have a mobile phone, he didn't have Facebook and all that stuff going on. And his father-in-law rocks up. Exodus 18 verse 17. Hello, Moses. That's what he said. And you want your father-in-law to say that first? Hello, Moses. What you're doing is not good. You love the father-in-law. What you're doing is not good. You and these people will all wear yourselves out. You know that's not the best way for father-in-law to rock in. Hello. What you're doing is not good. There's only one thing worse than that, isn't there? For the sake of the YouTube and the podcast, they said mother-in-law. Anyway, here's the counsel that his father-in-law gave. Exodus 18:21. He says, you select capable people, men from among the people, men who fear God, who are loyal and who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them over thousands, hundreds, fifties and tens. And he said this, Exodus 18:22-23. They, that is the leaders over these thousands, hundreds, fifties and tens, they will decide the simple cases by themselves, and they'll bring the difficult cases to you. And then you'll be able to stand the strain, and all these people will go to their place satisfied, go to their place, find their niche in life, which is what we want to do, find out what we have a passion for in life, and do that thing. But if we're tied down with other stuff, we won't. They'll go to their place, find their niche. So that's the formula that in this church we've adopted from the scripture. Leaders who are capable people, God-fearing people, and loyal people. That's what we've done. And we've appointed them over thousands in faith, right? And they would be the pastoral leaders. And we've appointed them over hundreds and fifties. They would be other leaders. And we've appointed them over the tens. They would be the connect group leaders. So we've got ministry departments and connect groups. And in those connect groups, that's where our pastoral care is done. That's how I can find out from other people. See, it's a big issue. If someone's got a heart, it's a big one suddenly. Start out little, became big. They handle the big good, and we look out after them. So that's where the pastoral care is done. And that's where people really connect with this church, with God, and with His people in the connect groups. Connect groups. Connecting and growing. Connect groups. Reaching out and growing. Acts 2:46 and Acts 20 verse 20. Publicly and from house to house. Historically, that's the pattern the church has always had. All churches. And publicly, that's this large group this morning. House to house, that's the connect groups. Groups of 10. Groups of 10. So the smaller group for this big group is for worship, for motivation, for direction and for teaching, an overarching thing. But in the smaller group for teaching, discussion, connection, and caring for one another. You can do all the discussion in the small group. You're not going to get it done here. Once you hijack the thing, we're done. We're here forever. So I want to encourage you to join a connect group if you haven't got into one. And you will really connect with God's people, with God's purposes, and with God's priorities if you get into that connect group. You really will. Now, we just finished a campaign here, went for 6 weeks. I hope most of you got most of that. If you didn't get those messages, they're all available, and you will need them if you're going to move on where we're all going together. The 1 month live campaign. So some of you got a bit of catch up to do, I know that, you need to do that. But some of you got into a small group, into a connect group to help process the material of the 1 month live campaign. Don't bail out on your connect group now, stay with it. While most of them in the next term are going to be doing a program called Honours Reward. Those of us who have done that, we're doing titles. So stay with your connect group, because there you will connect with God's people, God's purposes, and God's priorities. Now we're getting ready to land this message, guys. You stay with me. Here we go.